Good afternoon. Welcome again to another edition of your weekly current affairs program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. My name is Egosa Agbonlao. I must tell you that to this program, there's a lot of talking points, a lot of issues to be dissected on the program. Only yesterday, the verdict of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal kept Nigerians on the edge of their seats. They were eager to hear the verdict, and eventually the verdict was announced, and President Muhammadu Buhari was declared winner, the authentic winner of the presidential election, defeating Atiku Abubakar, who of course took him to court. And the latest now is that the president has expressed excitement, has expressed satisfaction with the outcome of the tribunal, and PDP and of course his presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar head to the Supreme Court. To join me do the analysis today, I have very distinguished personalities with me. I have a very seasoned politician and of course a former governorship candidate in the last governorship election in Edo State, Bishop Akalame. Nice to have you with us today.
Sir.
I also have with us a clergyman and of course a social commentator talking about Dr. Evangelist Emeka Ekuga. Nice to have you with us.
Good afternoon, viewers.
I also have with us a very, very seasoned legal practitioner, legal luminary, and of course a law lecturer with us, Professor Joe Ojo. Nice to have you with us today. So you can agree with me that you're going to get the best of thoughts, the best of opinions that will be expressed onto this program. But before we do that, immediately after the verdict of the Presidential Elections Petition Tribunal yesterday in Abuja, there were reactions. Reactions from a very notable son, Michael Zekome, and reactions from other counsel. And of course, one man stole the show. He was very, very emotional spokesperson for the coalition of political parties in Nigeria. He also made his comments. So let's just listen to them.
A lot of things are wrong with it. Poor evaluation of evidence. Non-evaluation of evidence, misplacement of exactly what the case of the petitioners is. The fact that certain provisions of the Constitution and the Electoral Act were misinterpreted and misapplied. There is so much to appeal against. We'll look at it. I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. I would just rather say that it is the entire judiciary that is on trial. And as to what we want to make of the country, I can't call it disappointment. I never get disappointed in a case. That is why we have appellate levels. I would rather say I am dissatisfied.
You say, am I happy? I say I'm happy, and we thank Almighty God for giving them the wisdom to have delivered this sound judgment.
As lawful citizens and apostles of rule of law, we wish to announce to Nigerians not to lose hope, because our consensus candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is heading to the Supreme Court for a final appeal to reclaim the people's mandate given to him. We cannot take the law into our hands. Hence, we shall approach the Supreme Court, diligently present our case, and believe that the justices of the Supreme Court will find solace in the fact that their names will be etched in gold and in the science of time when they do the right thing.
You've heard the reactions of eminent Nigerians. Ozekome is highly respected. Also, the counsel to the defendants also, they also made their own points, but they all commended the panel of justices for what they did. The tribunal, in its wisdom, commended, but some salient points were raised. A lot of issues. we have a professor of law with us, and we're going to start with him. Professor Jobodo, do you agree with Michael Zekome and, of course, the other counsel there?
Well, thank you very much, Augusta.
Okay.
I would say I agree with all of them because I'm a lawyer. So if I'm on the other side, I will speak like Zekome. On the other side, I will speak like the other lawyer. So it's a question of which side you or the pendulum you belong to.
Okay.
But the court, the judges are supposed to be neutral. And so whatever position they take is neutral.
Okay.
And so, but we can view from different perspectives.
Okay.
No judgment is ever perfect. But I know that this judgment spanned 8 hours in delivery. And to produce a judgment you read for 8 hours, it means that the hours spent in writing that judgment will be monumental too. And the series of documents, exhibits, and all that they went through, about 8 rulings, interlocutory rulings on interlocutory issues. Added to that, the panel did an enormous job, and all the counsel from the live coverage were very pleased, and they commended the court for a job well done. But somebody will win, somebody will lose, just the way it is in normal life. The person that has succeeded will applaud and go home celebrating. The man that has lost will feel aggrieved, and of course, thank God we have our hierarchy of courts. The Supreme Court is there as the final court of arbiter. They will go there and ventilate their grievances with this judgment and try to fault it, which is normal. But what we should not allow people to do is to castigate judges, desecrate the judiciary because judgment does not go in your favor. Of course, we heard the senior advocate of the document using the right legal language about evaluation of evidence and all that. You know, those are issues that can be raised before an appellate court. But when I people say judgment is a rape on the judiciary, it's trial vesting, judiciary is on trial, such epithets or words are quite offensive for some of us who are stakeholders in the judiciary. The judgment must not go your way before you can applaud it. Judgment can go either way. It's 50-50 or 60-40, depending on the volume of work put in. So as we develop further, we can find out why the judgment went the way it is. But I want to let others comment at this stage.
Okay, thank you, Professor Jobodo. Let's get the thought of a politician. Bishop Akalame, do you believe in the judiciary in terms of interpretation of election results and all of that?
Thank you. The judiciary is supposed to be the last hope of the common man.
Yes.
Like I said yesterday when some of my friends were discussing this issue, I told them that no individual has the capacity to contest the judgment of the court.
Okay.
If you are dissatisfied, just in this case, Fatiko is dissatisfied and the PDP are not happy with the judgment, what they need to do is to appeal the judgment.
Yeah.
I actually look at the whole issue. I put them on the table for analysis. The basic 3 things which the court analyzed before they give their judgment was that Alhaji Atiku, the PDP, brought into the table that the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Buhari, did not score the highest vote, and some states were overvoting. And the court told them that they were not able to prove their case, that they were overvoting in short states. And they talk about the server, that is the electronic transmission of results. And then the court told them that this thing you are talking about was not captured in the INEC manual. Say the president is not qualified to have contested the election in the first place.
Yes.
And we were told that he was not only qualified, but eminently what? Qualified.
Yes.
But you see, the issue is that we don't have issue, we don't have any right to contest that judgment. Okay? So in this case, I appeal.
Yes.
I want to appeal to Atiku himself, so that every tension that is everywhere will go down. He should appeal the Supreme Court. If you feel that the judgment given to you is not okay, then you appeal. Because yesterday they gave out their audience that the judgment was provocative. It's a subversion of what of justice, and of course, an assault to the integrity of the national what? Justice of what? System. Fine. If all these are coming up, the next thing you do, you approach the Supreme Court, just like Michael Zekome has posited. Okay? But I have my fear. Let me talk as a Nigerian. The fear I have is this. Why is it that a judgment will be given in a particular court? After some time, the same case will be taken to another court at different judgments. What is happening in judiciary? I see judiciary as a problem to a democratic system of government. Why am I saying all this is? Because of the things playing around. Because of the things we see. We are not seeing that separation of power. I normally tell them when I see them like this, I say, come, we have 3 arms of government. We have the executive, we have the institutional world, of course we have the judiciary. Why must you become an appendage of the executive? You stand on your own. You don't say because you are being paid by the executive that you cannot function on your own, that you need to be flexed. When we are doing this, you begin to ridicule the judicial system.
Yeah, but are you talking of other cases, or are you talking about what transpired?
Generally, my brother.
I'm just talking generally.
Generally, because
okay.
If you look at it very well,
when you say generally, you cannot substantiate.
No. See. This thing is in the domain. We know what is happening. Like this judgment yesterday, a lot of Nigerians felt that Atiku won the election. That is what they feel. But the result, the outcome of the judgment yesterday, betray what they have in their mind. So as a result, I have heard a lot of people say, if it is a victory for democracy, a victory for Nigeria, why come that Nigerians are not celebrating? I saw that. Why it's called they're not jubilating? They were talking like that. So I don't want the situation. That's the same thing about TINEC. Why was it being that when you have done your own function, people are complaining, they are dragging you along to court? Now, the court will give their judgment. People are complaining that the judgment you have given is not in line with what they ought to have expected from the judgment.
Now, when you say people are talking,
yes,
you are talking about different schools of thought. Now, yesterday, some Nigerians celebrated the verdict of the tribunal. Of course, the APC supporters,
thank you,
they celebrated.
You see, let me tell you.
Now, if PDP had won, you would have also expected PDP supporters to celebrate. But don't you think it is the duty of lawyers to actually prosecute their cases efficiently before the judges? We'll come back to you, Bishop Akalami. Okay, but let's just get the thought of Mecca Ekwaga. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Agbalaho, let me first and foremost appreciate the time frame from the judiciary,
that's
from
good.
The tribunal.
Okay.
At least they were able to meet to their time frame.
Okay.
Like a professor of law, I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
But you know, I told you earlier, and I want to say it one more time, that issues of this nature is the lawyers, those who are into this field, that are supposed to know a very proper way to react.
Okay.
But as a layman, as a Nigerian,
yes.
I
As
also
a voter, you are a voter.
As a voter,
yes.
I also have my.
So you are a stakeholder.
I'm a stakeholder. Yes.
Okay.
I also have my opinion.
Yes.
I took time yesterday when I was, watching the judgment. I discovered how, or I saw the way the lead judge, presented all the cases, the ones he stroked out, the ones, from beginning to the end. It was very sweet at the beginning. And you see people, saying, no, this guy is getting it, he's getting it. But when it goes to the main point, when it goes to the main issue, they came in with that word they call technicality. And I was even preparing my mind that when I comes in here today, I will ask a professor of law. I said, this technicality judgment, has it been on ground before today, or is it during tribunal whatever in this Buhari regime that technicality begin to be on focus and in place? Now, I must be honest. So many Nigerians are disappointed with yesterday judgment. Because if you look at the environment, you said the APC supporters are celebrating. Of course, but that celebration, you can also attest that that celebration was never a celebration. If I'm celebrating, we see it in me. If I'm celebrating, people around me will know. But I didn't see anywhere they are jubilating yesterday. I didn't see anywhere I didn't see any jubilation or celebration yesterday of any kind, of any type. As soon as the judgment was passed, everybody, you know, Nigeria, how he likes it to be, let it be. But I also want to react to the judiciary this time around. It's quite unfortunate that it's no longer a hope of a common man. As of today, if you look at the judgment that has been passed in so many areas, you begin to wonder, what is the place of judiciary? Is this supposed to be a group that's supposed to be on its own? Or is it supposed to be dancing to the tunes and the music of the government that be? Of course, later we'll go to the security, we'll still make some inputs in that.
Yeah, okay.
Because I've come to see Nigeria today, the where we are heading is when you are the one there, everybody dance the way you want it. Nobody comes to say, look, this is not how it ought to be. Whatever you want it, how it, so as long as you are the leader, you are the president, you are the governor, once you are there, anything you say becomes automatic. Nobody wants to kind of come and react and tell you this thing you are doing is not supposed to be so, and correction will be made. Well, the whole world has watched and they are still watching. Like Bishop said, if Atiku felt the judgment of judiciary is not taking it, there is a appeal, there is a Supreme Court there. I think there is no need, in presidential judgment now, I think it's only tribunal and the Supreme Court. He won't go to appeal. So let him go straight to Supreme Court.
Okay, now let me quickly interject there. That the PDP has made its position known that the party and of course its candidates in the presidential election will seek redress at the Supreme Court. Okay. That is already in public domain, and we expect the PDP to make do the promise. Well, let's get the thoughts of Professor Jobojo. I hope that we're able to see the statistics of some of the issues that the tribunal actually looked at yesterday. The issue of qualification. If the President Muhammadu Buhari, was qualified in the first instance to have contested the election, was looked into by the tribunal, and of course, it was also dismissed. The issue of Atiku Abubakar, if it was right for him to ask for, to kick against Buhari's eligibility and all that, INEC, the issue of INEC, it was struck out. So some of these statistics, we'll be seeing them. Prof, now, looking at the issues that the tribunal actually dealt with. Yes. They talked about the name, Muhammadu Mohammed. They cleared these issues.
Well,
yes.
Well, let me start by, first of all, letting the public know that you really cannot, and my friends said, you cannot blame the judiciary.
Okay.
So say the judiciary of this country is a little bit harsh on that arm of government. And to also say it's an appendage, it's also harsh too, because you can't really say which is which.
So to you, there's separation of powers?
Yeah, definitely. These are emotional talks. Emotions shouldn't ride in legal issues now. Let me tell you, I was a young man, 79. I think I was just in my primary 5, going to primary 6, I can't remember. I fell in love with Awolowo. I don't know if you people love Awolowo so much. But I read about Awolowo so much in the social sciences books. And I love him to be our president. When he came out in 79, I wish he became our president. And I still believe that if he was, or if he were, Nigeria would be better. But he lost that election in 1979 to Shagari. And they went to court, Supreme Court. That way we had about 12 to 10 majority. Kijide was a lawyer to the MPN then. When I became a law student in 86, I read those cases and I saw what the judges did. I wasn't pleased, but that was the law. And when I became a law lecturer, I used to teach that case. I kept telling my students that law is not by emotion, it's not about sentiment. There are two aspects. You have law, you have justice. I hope you follow me.
Yes.
Start giving a lecture as from the classroom. Now, the law is the law as it is. Justice is what the law should attain. At times, law may not achieve justice. And of course, justice is so very nebulous. Justice depends on your perspective. If I own a land and somebody is trespassing, I guess that the person trespassing should leave. But the man who trespass feels that he has the right to cross my, he probably looks for an easement, wants to go to his house. Maybe his dad is behind my land, so he wants to have the right of way. So you cannot consider that justice. It's very difficult. 79, 11 to 1999, for 16 years, PDP was in government. This same Buhari contested 3 times. He can't go to court. All the decisions that were used yesterday in that judgment, which I will explain to you later, were decided under PDP era. All the electoral jurisprudence we have in this country today, which I have researched about, and my colleagues will bear me out, were based on judgment by the Supreme Court on elections involving PDP, then as the ruling party, other parties struggling to exceed them. The popular case of Buhari and Obasanjo, lawyers think about, was Buhari's first attempt in 2003. So the Supreme Court has been consistent. So, Court of Appeal gives a judgment. If they are in error, they will be corrected by the appellate courts. So that's why you see this difference. So now, let me go back to the main issue.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to an election petition, is a very technical procedure, electoral procedure.
Okay.
I would say it is sui generis. And a petitioner in an election petition has an enormous task. It's like climbing the mountain. Okay. Mount Everest, if you wish. I have done a few.
Yes.
Now, why do you so? First, you have your time constraint.
Okay.
The timing is, once the election is over, you must file within 21 days. So, within 21 days, how do you garner the evidence to file? How do you get your witnesses? How do you approach INEC? And the law will use that you must front load, which means everything you want to use must be gathered and filed at the same time. The man who has lost election needs to rest. After the campaigning, everything, money spent, you get the result declared today. You want to catch your breath and you will think whether you need to go to the tribunal or not. So your days is counting. So your field agents, your agents, party agents, some may have compromised. Some probably will not pay that day. They're angry with you. They won't give you result sheets. You will get feedback from them. They are trying to collate. Then you meet lawyers that cost, maybe the lawyer will give you some fantastic bill because you like tells you bring 20 million. So before you gather your things, the time is running. When you gather your evidence to go to court, the court now is that you have just 180 days. So you have a time lag within 180 days to do your case. Now, just imagine, my colleagues who are in the field will know, to do election petition in House of Assembly, very difficult. House of Rep, difficult. Senatorial city, then how about a man who wants to challenge at the provincial level, 36 states and the FCT? What time do you have to garner evidence to prove?
Are you saying it's impossible?
It's not impossible. It's very difficult. That is why.
Are you defending the petitioners' council now?
No,
that probably they didn't have enough time to do a proper job.
I'm not proper job. I don't do proper. I'm just saying that our electoral laws is skewed so much in favor of the respondent. That is the man who won the election.
Thank you, Professor Joe.
Now,
I'm going to task you more. Now, we have the lead judgment. Now, the petitioners' council talked about INEC server. And the tribunal, in his wisdom, made it clear that the Electoral Act does not even recognize electronic transmission of results. Now, do you think it was wise for the Petitions Council to have canvassed that before the tribunal?
That is why, without trying to supervise, you see, between law and emotion, I would have thought that a senior lawyer of that pedigree, with all due respect to him, would have drawn the line. See, we have drawn the line by not ceding to the emotive comments or reports he got from his client or the supporters of the party. He knows, as every young lawyer should know, that the Electoral Act has not been amended to accommodate electronic voting or electronically generated electoral results. He knows that. He also knows the politics of that, because if the current president refused to assent to the amended Electoral Act, that would have made room for this kind of electronic transmission of results. That was the battle he had with the 8th National Assembly, led by Saraki. On several occasions they brought it, he turned it down. So you knew that this man was not going to key to electronic voting, electronic transmission of results. You knew that. And yet you keep claiming that it was used in an election. And you kept talking about a server. Even if they had a server, that's where by the short server, even if there was a server, was that server meant to transmit results? And if they did, it's not against the law. So your focus should have been on the manual voting, manual collation at the polling units and from ECA is the various fiscal, which is got explained to them. So just somebody will not say it's justice and it's a trial when we know the law and you try to go against it.
Thank you,
so
Professor Joe.
Electronic server.
Thank you very much. You've been able to enlighten our viewer out there on some of these very salient issues. Now, we have a politician who, of course, he contested to be governor. So he could have faced this kind of tribunal, Bishop Akalave. Now, he could have faced this kind of scenario. Now, looking at the issues, in your own reasoning, do you think the Petitioners' Council have done a good job?
Well, it has been an issue. You know, many a time we appear on this program, even before the election, we discuss the issue of the Electoral Act.
Yes, that's an issue really extensively discussed.
You see, the issue now that is affecting us is fundamental.
Okay.
And it's resulting from this Electoral Act. And why I'm not too comfortable is that Mr. President knew from the beginning that this will generate issue if he refused to accept to it. It was amended. It was forwarded to him to accept to it. He turned it down. Now, the problem we're having is that even when it's glaring, very clear, visible to the blind and audible to the deaf, because the Electoral Act has not captured it, the judiciary will just tell you that, well, it's not, this thing is not known to law. Well, I cannot say that whether the council did not do a thorough job. I believe in their own investigation, they have discovered, I was told that they said the man that came to witness to that said that he based on his own witness on ESA.
Yes, part witness.
But let me tell you something. If they find this and they discover that this thing was in existence and it actually happened, and I think I watched on your sister station channels face to face like this. I watched this when one of the INEC high-profile official was interviewed regarding the saver, and he said it happened. That results were transmitted from the unit to the one to the central. We know all those things, but it is not in our capacity to give judgments. It is not in our capacity, like I predicted earlier, to contest the judgment by the court. The only way we can contest this, that Atiku himself and the PDP, they can contest this, is in the Supreme Court. But for us to have these similar issues again, that is where I am more interested in. Our leaders will sit down, and we should stop making mockery of our democracy. You know, I'm worried. This issue we are looking at here, we are discussing here. You know, if anything happens in your house, you know how to talk to your wife, talk to your children, talk to everybody, the matter will just die. Even though the matter is still there, you can still forgive yourself, keep going. Nobody will know what is happening. The shame will be covered. But you see, when something is happening, that shame becomes international shame. That's where I have a problem. And what is situation by when anything happens in this country, it becomes a kind of reference. Can't we have a precedent that when people want to do something, say, oh, let's do the same way Nigeria has done their own. Why must we be, when it comes to negative reference, then we begin to talk about this great country? They know what to do. If not for the fact that majority of our leaders are greedy, they want to hold power like goalkeeper. They don't want to go. They know what to do. We should do the needful, not because of the political party we belong to, not because of ourselves, not because of the leaders we have in our political parties, but because of the future of this country. Now we want to cut every day. Last, I think let me say, early this year, I watched a professor from Ekoma on a station, whether it's on ITV, I don't know, I watch him. What he said, He said, how have you been able to reduce the crisis in Ekpoma? You know what he said? He said, this crisis normally emanated during student union government election. He said, but the way it is now, you can stay in Lagos and cast your vote. Don't come to school. If you're your hostel, don't cast your vote. He said, if a school, a university, have this app, and they can do this voting, even when you are at home, even when you are going anywhere inside the bus, you can cast your vote to your choice candidate. Why is it that we cannot do this?
You're talking about electronic voting.
You don't do, when we do all these things now,
okay.
All this issue of running to court and here I was cheated, I was saying the election was rigged. All this will be a thing of what? Of the past. You want to tell me that if a university in a state like Edo State can do that Nigerians have the money, they cannot get hold of that app? To reduce this tension we are having, to reduce this electoral fraud we are having, this corruption everywhere in politics, all this will be reduced. The idea of going to court, also the judgment given to court was not okay, the judge has compromised, this one has done this, all these things will stop. I want to appeal to President Muhammadu Buhari before we leave office. Please, give your answer to the amended electoral act, so that when you go, people like us will remember you, because all these things will give credence to electoral process. It will damn tension. It will reduce the way people go to court and waste their money after election, looking for justice. And if it doesn't come, you say you have been cheated, that the judge has collected money. You see the perception we're talking about? We need to work for future. Nigeria is too big for the mess we have found ourselves today. Very soon, we'll begin to hear comments from international organizations concerning what happened yesterday. Just because we have not been able to put our house where, and I believe that because they're not interested. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. It's just like when I travel to this state and I'm coming, people are telling those states, no, I begin to argue. I begin to fight when I'm protecting my state. So if the leaders not doing well, it makes me angry because I am always there fighting for the state. When the foreigner is discussing us, we need to stop this. So wherever we go, we raise our shoulders so high. We become so proud of our country. We become so proud of our state that when we don't talk, say, come on, I'm from Nigeria, a great country.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Emeka Ikugu, I know you have something to say.
Yeah,
now, judgment has been delivered, we've dissected it. But what do you think we can learn to avoid problems in the future?
Thank you. You see, my bishop has made a little comment from where I was almost coming from.
Okay.
Judgment has been delivered. And I want to say to PDP, Atiku Abubakar, even when they go to Supreme Court, and it was not delivered in their favor, I think that's where it ends. 4 years is not forever.
You can't preempt the Supreme Court. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I don't know. But 4 years is not forever.
Okay.
Whether Supreme Court to say that President Buhari should remain or he should go, it's only them that can determine that. But if on the other way around, 4 years is not forever. But I still want to comment on that idea of improving in our electoral process.
Okay.
You see, we have ATM. We have ATM card.
Yeah.
If you have the money in the bank, no matter the bank you are operating from, you can easily go there now. Take how much you want, and you go your way. Instead of entering in the bank, you have an emergency. Bank does not operate in the night.
Yeah.
You can easily go there, take money and sort out what you want to sort out. Nigeria is too big enough to come up to this electronic voting. Election of state, election of House of Assembly, election of National Assembly, election of governorship, and what have you. If it is 1 week between Monday to Saturday, I can choose any day, go there, cast my vote, go back to my house, and nobody will ask me, whom did you vote for?
Okay.
Nobody will ask me, why did you vote for so person? And my vote will not count. It is very clear. I want to appeal to President Muhammad Buhari at this present time. He should attend to that very electoral act.
Yeah.
Because there was a ruling yesterday. I overheard the lead judge said the evidence that was brought by what do you call the man from Anambra State?
Chidoka.
Chidoka. Is it a...
Yes.
Yes, the witness. Now, he said some of this, why they struck it out is because it's subject to amendment. And these are the things we are looking into. These are the things we are expecting. If the court that has passed judgment yesterday and said President Buhari won the election or whatever for whatsoever contest, I think the same court is now still telling President Buhari assent to this electoral act. Most of those things that was brought as witnesses that need to be amended, it should be the duty also of the National Assembly to come up now and move in again to make sure that all these things are being put together, so that in forthcoming elections, it will be easier for Nigerians. We will not be personal enemies to anybody. You and I will see each other and we embrace and greet.
Okay. Because
if not, issues of this nature will keep, arising every time.
Yeah.
And if I air my opinion, you may not be happy. Barrister may not be happy. And if barrister air his opinion, I may not be happy. Because we cannot agree in everything at once. Yesterday when the judges, the lead judges were asked, the one at the end, what does it take? I agree. What is their own? Yes. I agree.
Okay.
The one by Marat, what is their own? I agree. Why would they not agree? Who is going to disagree?
No, sometimes you can have dissenting voices.
But if you disagree, of course, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That is just my language. I don't know. Okay, you disagree.
Thank you.
But all of them agree.
Okay. Well, Prof, now 2020. Next election, 2020, we're having an election in Edo State. Yes, we're going to have election after Buhari. Buhari cannot come back because the constitution does not allow a third term. Now, what do you think the executive should be doing now to actually enhance or make Nigerians convinced that there's separation of powers? Because democratic tenets promotes the ideal situation of separation of power where the executive, has its own duties, the legislature performs its own role, the judiciary performs its own role. What do you think the executive should be doing now to actually enhance this separation of powers?
Okay, now for separation of powers,
yes.
That is a little bit very generic.
Okay.
But I think that by and large, the executive must try and avoid interfering with the performance of the functions of the other arms.
National Assembly.
The legislature, of course, the judiciary. But I think by and large, apart from the party politics who play this country, once some parties in government, they tend to want to monopolize the legislature. Okay. Those two always swim together. But I, for one, always believe that the judiciary is independent. Not because
you're a lawyer.
I'm a lawyer, but
yes.
because I apply my trade in court, and I know that the judges we have there are very independent, honest, and of course, fair-minded people. You can't really influence them because you put them there. There are some few bad ones, though. But this idea of spinal power judiciary should not be put in that toga at all. The other two area politicians. Then moving forward, I think what they have said with my colleagues is more about deepening our electoral process. As we said, we've said this time and time again on this platform. But I think what was missed in this last election was because of the timing of the amendment. The timing of the amendments was too close. The last one that was brought to the president that he didn't assent was because of the time frame. He said we will give at least 6 months before you bring a new electoral to guide an election. They are bringing a new guideline. So before FIFA introduced VAR, they gave time. You can't just say because the tournament is coming up next week, they say they will use VAR. No, it's not. That was one thing. And then the bad blood or bad fit between the Saraki-led National Assembly and the people. Now that you have APC controlling both, controlling the Senate, you have the APC dominating the National Assembly, and you have the APC, the executive arm of government. Separation of powers does not mean there must be tug of war. You can collaborate. You can work in cohesion. So they should work towards an electoral act, an amendment that will incorporate electronic voting, digital voting.
Okay.
So as the way it is done in the US on that climb, in the US election now, we can stay all through the night. I witnessed Trump win the election, though to my greatest discomfort, though. But I was watching the results coming from China. Iowa has come.
Okay.
Has come, so Nigeria can get there. And
so the one of we waiting for people to travel.
No, with plane.
Yes.
Papers.
Taking all manner of risks.
There have been doctors.
Relation center. We need to wait for some hours. Resume again. All that will be eliminated.
Bishop has said,
yes,
this can be done from a central. Let me also announce, like I said before, my own body, National Nigerian Bar Association, where I belong to, we started doing electronic voting 4 years ago.
Okay.
So this last election of last year. So it can be done. Put in the right technology, acquire the right equipment, and of course, man a very strong server that cannot be hacked. Not the INEC one that was neither there nor there. But now they must have a powerful server that cannot be hacked. Because hacking is a crucial issue. But if you can do it in the US, go there and borrow that knowledge from them and from them. So that you do not have to go through this electoral rigorous voting manually, go to court and be spending 8 hours to read judgment when we know that from the word go that they wanted to read in the first place, because on ground the election one are lost and the evidence to prove it was not there. There was any rigging or not, even if there was. So that's the problem. But if it's electronic done, you cannot have such a
Thank you, Prof. Bishop Akalame, now, before we call it a wrap on the show, you have actually canvassed the issue of this electronic voting, which is enshrined in the amended Electoral Act, and that the president should quickly do the needful to the Electoral Act. Well, we've looked at, we need to go above the shores of this country. In the US, there's what we call the Russia meddling in the US presidential election. And they are still battling with that meddling, you know. Now, you are actually saying electronic voting. Don't you think this issue of meddling will also crop up?
Well, you see, when I say electronic voting, why do I canvass for electronic voting? It will reduce a lot of issues that is biting us so hard today in Nigeria. Now, even though you feel that you are being cheated during an election, you can't prove your case in the court. Because most of the materials, most of the evidence you may have to prove your case, they are not legitimate before the law. The law do not recognize them. Okay? I watched closely, and in this judgment, when I was told that the card reader was only used to identify a voter. Accreditation. But it was never used to transmit results to the central. And even when it was used, it was not captured in the manual by INEC. And I tell you again that at the time Mr. President did not accept to this bill, the INEC came out to say, now that we don't have this to work with, we will go back to our old way. And the old way is not helping the country. It's creating issues. It's creating a lot of confusion. Now, you can imagine, it's God that's on our side. If not for the fact that God is on our side, look at what would have happened today in the court, yesterday in the court, when you have supporters of this candidate and supporters of this candidate who were cut. I feel that the judgment did not go our way, or let's destroy it. But God did not allow it. So we should only prevent all these things not to happen. And electronic voting is the best. My brother, when we have this, if you don't have anything to bring to the table, just be prepared. If you're already in the office, don't try to repack your notes to go home. Because people even want to vote. I know Nigerians. They know who is doing well. They know they are good leader. They know a good candidate. The point they have is that most times their output always betray their input. They say, I will come here to vote. But the result we just had is different from what we feel that we were giving.
Even at what level you mean?
Yeah. So the issue is that because we decide to settle for the traditional way of voting, the manual. We are looking at this now. Nigeria is supposed to set a pace for every other African country to follow. But what is happening today? It's as if we are still learning.
Bishop,
your party was Emeka Ekua. Your party was.
Let me add to what you've just said now. INEC needs to also wake up from now.
Okay.
You see, a lot of money is being voted to INEC. I think during last election, for this issue of server and what have you, if I can recollect very well, there was so much money, millions, that was voted for INEC. And we discovered that even the money, up to today, I don't think if they have accounted anything to any of this money to Nigerians. Because the purpose of those money, we did not see it. And then now, they are also inclusive in a court suit. And then they will come there, they will do their own blah, 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 they will go. Let them wake up now. It's an embarrassment to this country. A very serious embarrassment. Like he said, very soon I will start receiving comments from in and outside the country. It's a serious embarrassment to us.
So what's the way forward?
Let them wake up.
Okay.
Now, if these servers are not working, let them make sure it starts working now. And how will it be? Let them also mount pressure to the presidency to assent to that electoral act. It will not only be the National Assembly, because they are the one fully involved. They are the one to use it. They are the one that can say that this thing is like this, it is not like this. And if the National Assembly has gone to the president and they say it's too quick because election is closed, like Barrister said, I think now they should stand up again, and INEC should also come up, and Nigeria should also begin to talk. I'm sure 2023, because what we're looking at now mostly is presidential election. 2023, Nigeria can get it right.
Thank you. Your party was Professor Joe.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
First, litigation is supposed to be a gentleman's option to resolve issues. So, the Supreme Court is waiting for those who feel agree with yesterday's judgment to go there and investigate their case, and they might be lucky. For the Electoral Act, the National Assembly now must sit up now to revive the amendment to the Electoral Act 2010. That Act of 2010, 9 years after, it's old. Amend, review to incorporate electronic voting, digital voting, and of course all the gray areas that were reviewed by this judgment, that will be reviewed by Supreme Court thereafter, to give us a perfect electoral act, electoral regulations that will key into digital voting, so that by 2023 there will be free and fair election that will be driven by electronic or driven by.
Thank you very much.
Space.
Thank you. Your party was Bishowa Kalame. Quick one.
Nigeria is a great country.
Okay.
And I want to appeal to leaders. If you know you want to become a leader, you are already there. Don't see politics as a career. Just see as a call to serve the people and solve problems for the people. That's if we can do this and show corruption, Nigeria will be a greater country.
Thank you very much. So politicians are watching this program. I hope you have seen the takeaways. Your colleague, another politician, says, don't see politics as a career. Okay, on that note, we say thank you, gentlemen, for being part of today's program. If you want to take a career, you can come be a broadcaster. Politics should not be a career. Okay. Well, that's the show for this week. If you enjoyed our discussion, keep a date with me, God willing. Next week, Thursday, we'll be looking at other national issues. Until then, to have a perfect weekend ahead. But we can't leave without saying happy birthday to the Esama of Benin. Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Sarok Benedio, who just marked his 85th birthday. It was a unique one. Yes, thank you, gentlemen. Yes, happy birthday. So on that note, we say bye-bye.